Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to the live stream between round 6 of the Prague Masters between Arvindh Chithambaram and Gukesh. The two Indian players in Prague are fighting against each other, and Gukesh gives a check to Arvindh here. And whoa, it's very high pressure game. Check to the king, and look at the mess. The queens are off the board. King c7 has been played. And I'm thinking here, who's better? Is this going to be a draw? Guys, it could be a draw, right? Knight b5 check, king c8, knight d6. But Gukesh, I don't think will agree to a draw in such positions. There is a very interesting move here. Hello, hello. Guys, what is a very cool move in this position for white to attack, to go all in? Hello, welcome to everyone. Knight g5, he plays it. It's on the board. He plays it, he finds it. This is hanging. And all of a sudden, Arvindh has to be careful. You know what? Arvindh, when he played knight e4, had to play knight e5 and had a great position. Okay, you lose this pawn, but that's not a big problem. But he tried to defend it. He tried to be a little bit more saying like, my position is great, but then check, and now knight g5, and this is hanging on e6. Knight d8, exactly, Ryan, you are right. Defending this pawn. But now I was thinking maybe f4. And already Gukesh is the one who seems to be in a good position. Yes, Gukesh has less time. That's true. Yet time has been a constant worry for Gukesh in this tournament. That is absolutely right. We can see here now Arvindh thinking what to play. Is Paddy Upton helping Guki? Maybe. I think Paddy could be helping Gukesh. But guys, this is the live board position. And Arvindh should be very careful. Because if the two knights come here, notice the number of squares that they can control. It's just insane. So imagine I take here, check, I was thinking, oh, I can't give a check. Guys, what's the winning move here? Black to play. Hello, Kimaya. Good to see you. What's a winning move? Yes, Aditya R. You are so quick. Ryan, Gnana, King D7, attacking here and here. Both are hanging. And you lose a piece. It's incredible. So knight g5. By the way, let's just go from the beginning for the game. It was g6 by Arvindh, hyper accelerated dragon, c3 with the idea of d4. You have d5, take, check. Oh, this is happening. Queen takes e5. And this is how the position came. Takes, queen takes, rook d1, and this is how we reached here. And he's taken with the bishop. But Gukesh is now better. But Gukesh should not fall for knight takes e6. That would be a huge blunder. I don't think he will fall for it. What is a good move for white here? Guys, what is a good move? क्या खेलोगे आप? Vedant says knight b5. But Vedant, if you give me a check, can I go king b7? So like check, king b7. And then if you give another check, I go king a6 even. My king is safe. If you give a check here, I can take it. Yes, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, you are right. Beloglavi soup. I am 548. Anagha, very good. Knight. Oh, but knight f7 is also a very interesting move. The thing is, knight f7, I can take here. If you take on h8, I'll take here. And if you take this, then you're already in a bad position. This is not good. Because count the number of pawns. You are right now 2 pawns down as white. So you need to be very accurate. Knight takes c4, winning one of the pawns, attacking the bishop. The bishop has to move, let's say bd4, blocking the rook. I give you a check, attacking here. King d7, I take here. If you take with the knight, I go bishop e3. Pawn takes. Maybe just going after this pawn. And oh, Gukesh blunders or what? No, he doesn't. He goes knight df7. He makes a mistake. Oh, Kimaya, thank you for your contribution. Backer of Indian chess, Kimaya Virle. Amruta, you are talking about her today. She's become a member.
Arey, kya baat hai Kimaya? Awesome. What's happening? The knights have reached like the 7th rank and the 5th rank and
Guys, we have Amruta here. Hello, hello, Amruta.
Hello, hello. Camera की क्या ही जरूरत है?
अरे
अच्छा किधर है? किधर? Oh, ये कैमरा है. Got it. Hello, hello everyone. What's up? On knight df7, black will play h6 says Sakar. And that's a question.
No, but h6 means you will lose the rook, no, Sakar.
Not wait, knight
Actually,
h8.
knight e6 check and then take this.
Yep.
But even there, Amruta, it's not so easy. For example, I go king c8 and knight h8, bishop h8, black still is okay.
You know, I wish there was rook d8 check. But anyway, you had a king b7. ठीक है, but knight ही है तो क्या ही करे?
But Amruta, Gukesh missing a big chance here. He could have taken the pawn on c4 and after bishop d4, knight e6 and he's better. He's got back the pawn.
Okay, material is equal. Let me see why is better. Because
Oh,
king
but look
b7
at what
आ रहा है
Arvwind
ना?
did. Amruta, कुछ भी चल रहा है एकदम फटाफट bd4. He plays here. He gives up material.
It's a positional exchange sacrifice. Can we say that?
Yeah, because the thing is, if you save the rook, for example, rook f8, there is knight e6 check. There are no squares for the rook.
But I don't understand it for bishop d4. First of all, if I go knight e6 check now,
Yes,
king d7, knight
Attack
takes
it.
d4.
d4 or you take here.
But
Okay,
then
you
king
take here.
e6 and I lose 2 pieces.
But I take now.
And now knight h8, rook h8, and black is saying that
Black is saying that they have one pawn and a piece for a rook. But look at these pawns. They are insane.
wow, what assessment. Because bishop f because I'll go bishop f4 and you will go d3 and then they have to stop over there, you know, it's like a very big halt.
But you know, I don't even need to push the pawns. I'll go perhaps with my king up, let's say b5, a5, b4. I mean, you as white don't have so much play. And I can go knight b4, knight d3 if possible, or this knight to b4 to d3.
Yeah, my bishop on f4 is attacking nothing. Has like it's a really nice bishop with open position, but is completely powerless somehow.
Yeah.
Okay, great sacrifice by Arvind, actually speaking.
Arvindh Chithambaram showing his class here. Gukesh in trouble. Amruta.
Okay, I still want to understand practical trouble. I completely get it. I have to go knight takes c6. Otherwise, I mean, without taking the pawn, I can't take the rook on h8. Can we look at it a bit more closely?
Sure.
By the way,
Everyone's saying I've brought a new house. Guys, this is not a new house.
oh yeah, the bed house. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll put-
Yes, guys, this is the new house. Why not?
guys, do subscribe and do like the stream. Like the बाद और लोगों को आने दो. This is going to be a big clash between Gukesh and Arvindh Chithambaram. You can see here.
And we have Samaira Taneja who says we had an intra-college chess tournament in Government Medical College, Chandigarh.
Oh wow.
Isn't
That's
it amazing? Yeah. That's really amazing.
Gukesh has 26 minutes only, Amruta.
Okay, so you
Gukesh cannot afford another loss, Amruta. He already has 2 losses in this tournament.
true. No, I don't think this is like right now anything like we can say that white is losing or anything. It's just very slight advantage for black, but more than what the bar is showing, because in spite of black losing material, that's the advantage. So
By the way, Amruta, you saw that Kramnik actually made a tweet saying that Nodirbek Abdusattorov deserves the candidate spots and not Hikaru Nakamura. He has gone into the rules deeply, and it is said that if you have a 2700 plus player in your tournament, you need to register it 1 month in advance. Otherwise, the rating will not count, and so on. And Hikaru played in some tournament which maybe he claims has not been registered 1 month in advance. And then the only way to give rating to such tournaments is if the FIDE president agrees to it, and he is questioning if FIDE president had given his sign off on this tournament and all of these. So it's actually interesting tweet that he has made.
crazy, but how can like with all the thing with the candidates list being so confirmed?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think things can change or anything. Rav Lamsel says, Miss you Sagar just watched Samay's stream from 2 years back. What to do? We miss you. Sagar Shah and his favorite student. Love you.
Actually, Samay is coming back to chess. We are going to organize the Super Heroes Cup on the 14th and 15th of March, just in 10 days from now in Pune. It's a big event for all the differently abled players, and it's done with the prize money of Samay's POC Champs victory.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. I think a lot of people in Pune who have been saying that Pune mein kuch to karo. I think this would be a nice event to meet. Arpit says, Sagar bhai, I have noticed one thing that Arvind is usually the one always upon the time, but recently he's losing a lot. Is he managing the time badly?
No, I think time-wise he's doing well. In his games, perhaps he's taking too much risk. But today, I think practically he's doing quite well. You can see Gukesh, by the way, Amruta has become very calm. He's not looking super excited about his position, because how can he be, right? Because it's kind of a forced line. Takes king d7.
Let's go very slow. Now I said knight takes d4, and you were once mentioning if knight takes h8, you take the rook first,
But then your knight is trapped.
and if rook e1 check, you have king f6, and yeah, next the knight is trapped. So this variation is directly rejected. You can't take the rook, which means knight d4 is a forcing move. Now c takes d4. Again, if you don't take the knight, then you're already pawn down. So you have to take the rook. Sorry, the rook I mean. Naro. Attack again. Rook takes knight here. And we are actually coming, like we are going to reach this position, there is no doubt. And the bishop on c1 wants to develop. The question is where all.
Maybe we can do this and sort of exchange for the knight.
Because you are threatening bishop takes e7, king e7, something like that.
Yeah.
Now, what if I ignore and go king e6 doesn't make sense? Rook e8, let's say. Wow. But b5, there is b3, kya?
Yes, Amrita, wow. And then if you play c3,
then d3. Now I have both the weaknesses.
let's ask the chat. Guys, what's a winning move for white here? White to play and win a pawn.
Simple and dimple.
By the way, today, Amrita, the leader of the tournaments are playing each other. Jordan versus David Navara. We'll have a look at that game. Jordan on 4 out of 5, David Navara on 3.5. And we also have Nodirbek versus Nodirbek playing against each other.
That's amazing. Actually, in Uzbekistan, we will be having Olympiad this year. Not sure how many of you are going to come there. Snuggly Buck says, hey Sagar and Amrita, long time no see. Hope you guys are well. Oh, we are amazing. We are here at our friend's place, Shikhar and Charmi. And we are at Bangalore. And we're working from here. It's a nice, change.
Amrita, he took on e6.
Yeah, the whole variation. But Arvind's assessment, I would say,
Has been great.
yeah, incredible. Really good. Instead of developing the bishop first, what if we play b3 and then bishop e3, asks Ryan? That's a great question. We will go there.
Yeah, I think that's a nice one, Ryan. Because let's say, for example, you are saying king d7, knight d4, pawn takes, knight takes rook. Now I can play c3. And now if you play bishop e3.
G5, no, same if I try to convert into.
Yeah, but now I go king e6.
And for bishop e7, king e7, black is saying, I don't care if even my king had to move twice.
Yeah.
Because my pawns and knights.
You could give a check, but now just king d6. And I've improved the position a bit. If you come here, I can even go maybe king c5, but knight d5. And this position, Amrita, looks really, really dangerous now.
Really, really agree.
Okay, Arvind comes back, and I think he will play king d7 within a couple of minutes, because if king b7, there's check and you lose the pawn.
No, I think he'll definitely play the right variation. Yo Sagar, are you ill? Yes, he does have some sardi. Bangalore has pollen allergies at this time of the year. Got it. We are new to Bangalore. Are there any other games in history with this position? Asks Gabagul.
No, I don't think.
History for 19th move at this position seems very unlikely, at least with the time they've consumed. And Kimaya has been the member for 53 months. Kimaya, your name is 2401. Will you reach that rating online by any chance? Or is that your birthday? But that's amazing. 53 months. Thank you so much. And we're gonna meet once I'm back.
By the way, this entire game till here was played between Vokidov Samshiddin versus Vokidov Jahangir until the move f6 castles. And here bishop g7 was played. It was played in a rapid tournament, but fe5 is the first new move already. And he's played king d7. Gukesh has taken on d4, and now, I mean, I'll bet this house that we are staying in that
अरे शिखर अरे चार में
takes
तुमको निकाल देंगे घर से या वो भी निकल जाएंगे अपने साथ.
Oh, Kimaya says, unfortunately, no, but it's my birthday.
अरे आज
Happy birthday.
अरे 2401 उसका रेटिंग है क्या?
Yeah, 24th January. Sorry, अभी तो गया ना तो birthday.
Belated.
Oh, Sakar Chess is born on 20th March, so he's 2803.
At least.
But I am 2801.
Arey, congratulations. 2800 in some way at least you reach. Great. Uh, can we go full screen and see the vibe? And who's that behind? Who's wearing the goggles? Let's go full screen. I thought first he's a good.
I thought
So much like Gukesh. you
no,
know,
like Harshit. I thought it was Harshit. He reached there.
Okay, interesting goggles. Yeah, I've never seen somebody with such goggles in the chess.
Oh, I know how Gukesh is going to play very accurately. Bishop E3. Good move. Now knight F5 because you can't push D3. That would be very bad because of B3. And I mean, you don't want to let your D pawn die, so you go B5.
And then
and
A4.
A4.
Then
and
A6.
A6.
Then AB. AB.
A,
Then
B,
BC, BC.
A, B. Oh.
Rook
A,
A4.
B, A,
C3
B,
नहीं आ रहा है. D3 is hanging. You know, like how both the rooks. Look at the rook on A4 and rook on D1. And C4 and D3 are like us sometimes.
Yeah, we
If
both are
one
getting killed.
falls, then the other falls.
Hmm.
So we have to be careful about such rooks.
By the way, Soumya will join us on the last 2 days. Tomorrow, Harshit will join you. So you are going to have a very exciting last 3 days of Prague Masters.
Yeah, absolutely. Abhi to people are like, Karthik is like, I am to 2911. Yeah, all the people whose birthday
Anyone
has
is 2904, 02,
29?
02,
Why? Oh!
29 Feb.
Oh yeah, actually. Nodirbek reached 2778, world number 4 currently in sale. In fact,
Oh, Amrita,
Sagar, I remember.
Gukesh, did he blunder or what? No, he's thinking.
Sagar, it was in Prague again where Nodirbek had reached world number 4. Do you remember that he had joined the interview and at that point of time he was talking also about Yakubboev?
Yes.
And wasn't it in Prague only when he reached number 4?
Yeah.
It has
Yeah, I mean, it was not number 4. He reached, I think, 20,750 for the first time in his career.
Got it. बताओ क्या एनालिसिस है समझाओ सागर भाई. That's
So,
what
Amrita,
everyone needs
it's
to do.
actually now for Gukesh, he has to find perhaps a very accurate move to keep the balance, which is Bishop E3.
Bishop E3 is the most critical move here, but in earlier variation, we were looking at Bishop G5. So it's tricky. You want to go Bishop E3 or Bishop G5?
Bishop E3, and
here you have a direct threat. D4 is hanging. After knight F5, somebody asked G4. Wait a second.
yeah, but
Either
G4
tha G4.
we can take.
Maybe not here.
FE, D3.
No, what if G4 to stop knight F5 first only asks Ryan?
No, but that's not great.
Slow, that's slow. यहाँ पे he's saying G4. But then king E6, king D5, no? We don't have time.
That's such a good point. Now I can even take, so because the pin is gone.
No, the king is a piece in the end game. Though I really feel that even if you're better as black, somehow such end games, because with knight, they are not so easy to convert.
Yeah. Amrita, should we go and look at the game?
Divya and Ganguly. Let's
Yeah,
do that.
Divya Deshmukh. But also first we had said we'll look at the leaders game. David Navara versus Jorden van Foreest.
Okay, yes.
Let's go there and see.
Van Foreest, who has been having a great tournament.
Oh, he's better. He's slightly better here with white. And Jordan, if he wins here, he will move to
5?
5 out of 6.
Wow.
And Amrita is just 8 elo points behind Anish Giri for Dutch number 1. He could very well win 2 games and surpass him for the first time ever.
That would be the first time. I thought
Anish
when he
was
won the...
Dutch number 1.
Why? I thought live ratings he has...
I don't think so.
No? Wow, that's amazing. Van Foreest. Crazy. It's like sabka time aega, you know?
Yeah.
It's more like that right now. The chess world for the last 1 year has been like every time somebody else is performing well.
Amrita, Nodirbek versus Nodirbek happening. It's equal.
Okay, very unclear. I was
By the way, Maghsoodloo must be under some pressure, yeah, Amrita, with all that's
Yeah.
happening in Iran right now. And I hope he's fine, but he is in trouble with the black pieces against Antón Guijarro.
But you know, the Maghsoodloo is again a guy for whom the evaluation could change. He's very tricky, very resourceful, and something like until the end of the time, we cannot be sure.
And then we have Vincent Keymer playing against.
Gaurav says, finally, first time I don't have to ask which Nodirbek is playing against whom.
And Hans Niemann is slightly better against Vincent Keymer.
Actually, very surprising because Vincent was better, if I'm not wrong, earlier. Yeah, much earlier. Maybe Saturday also, if you're not well, in case whenever you have to go and get some rest, you can do that, but okay. Hans's king can come into danger at some point, but for now,
But
he did
for
not
now,
take
he's
the
winning
D6
this
pawn.
pawn.
No, here only he could have won.
No,
but
but
the
queen
reason
was
he
coming, no?
did not take was queen h3, correct. h4 is isolated and अच्छा ये भी मर रहा है and rook pawn is the enemy of the knight. So okay, Hans in trouble. Let's have a look at Divya's games again.
Okay.
And Ganguly. अरे रक्षित सिंह मैसेज करते हैं रक्षित.
Oh, yes, Rakshit bhai, I have to write to you. Sorry. Rook a4. And also Surya Ganguly. By the way, Amrita, Divya is around equal. She is a pawn down, pawn up right now, but her pawns are doubled. And she's playing Thomas Beardson, who's having a great tournament. He beat Ganguly, Benjamin Gledura. He drew with Jonas Beer, lost to Jonas, drew with Nemec and Rebek, and now Divya. And Divya has been gaining 6 elo points here. So let's
So
see.
she is going to be more 2500 plus.
She's already 2503.
No, right now published rating. Cost mark. Okay. 2503. Nice. Okay, so doubled pawns for Divya, but I like her knight on e5 and the piece activity over there in the center. The only problem is that rook on a4 is looking very nice.
Yeah. This is, if black starts to attack and gets this pawn, then this pawn can get weak. So it's going to be quite an interesting
But you know, there's rook b1 also. b7 is weak. If you try to push the b pawn, c6 is weak. Then with the bishop and the knight. So eventually maybe both b7, c6 pawns get exchanged against a2 and d3. And then white will be a pawn up. I think Divya might have good chances.
Let's
Let's
see.
see. Ganguly, what's he doing?
So
Oh, look at his a4 and b3 pawns. They look super yummy.
Surya should be better here,
Yeah.
but I think e5 simplifies the position because suddenly you can't take, e7 is hanging, so it should be.
Knight 8 jana padega. Oh, knight d5. Much better, much active. Rook takes c6.
By the way, you can't take here. Why, guys?
Oopsie. Oopsie. Let's see. We have around 600 people watching, and how many of you are going to get the answer out of 600?
I think everyone's going to go get wrong. Shabad Jot got it wrong.
50 people.
Ryan got it wrong.
Oh my God, मैंने भी वही देखा फटाफट से.
Taming the Code got it wrong.
But why did you say
Vedant
it is
Rajesh
wrong?
got wrong. Bhuki Reza got it wrong. Vibhu. So
Let them
many.
answer.
No one has given the right answer yet.
Oh, it's a tricky
फंसा दिया
question.
है तुमने जो मुझको.
रुको, अरे बाप रे सागर भाई, हिंदी का पेपर बढ़िया गया. अब एसएसटी का पेपर 7 को है. एसएसटी क्या रहता है भाई?
सोशल स्टडीज.
अच्छा, हाँ, यहाँ पे यूट्यूब चैनल पे डेफिनेटली सोशल स्टडीज तो हो रहा है तुम्हारा. Oh yes, now people are getting the right answer. Nafeez, Satyam Roy.
First take this, guys, because if you start
Ryan.
with bishop h2, I take, you take here, I take here, and white gets 2 pieces for the rook. So very important to first start with knight takes. Now you can't take here, here and here because of a back rank mate. So that's why you have to take back, and now bishop h2 is winning.
Very cool, huh? This was very cool question here.
Thank you. By the way, Yupa did not play e5. He goes knight d4, and Amruta after king f7. Black is in the driver's seat. So let's see if Surya can win his first game here. He's already having a tough tournament. 2 draws and 3 losses.
Yeah, I think he will do it this time. Why are you laughing?
So you just did.
No, I was saying.
Okay. Coming back to Gukesh's game, Amruta. Gukesh versus Arvind. You can see Arvind walking in the background there. Gukesh focused. It seems like the position is equal according to the engines, but for me, I think it's practically easier to play as black. What do you think?
I actually, I'm not very sure about this position, honestly. I'm trying to understand bishop e3 variation, which you showed, bishop g5. Is it white, you would say, who has to play more accurately, Sagar, or black? Because if black
White has to
misses
play more
something,
accurately.
black will land up in material down.
Yeah, but still, Amruta, black's ideas are simple. Knight d5, king e6, rook e8, rook d8. All these moves very simple. b5, a5.
But you don't have a breakthrough with those passers. Okay, yes, they look beautiful. Yes, they can even advance to bit, and it can be thoda wo aisa just create a fear. But they cannot really, like, imagine I'm in a house and near my window there is a snake, cobra. But there is a window. I mean, there's this glass. I can see the cobra. The cobra can see me. I'm worried, but the cobra cannot bite me.
True.
So these pawns are like that cobra. They are still not able to bite.
But sometimes you'll open the window and it will come in and bite.
No, but why open? Am I an idiot to open the video if I'm
Video or window?
Window. Sorry, lot of slip of tongue. If there's cobra near the window. So that's why I'm a bit confused, and I do think the position is having a lot more treasure.
I'll just come back.
Yes, be careful about the cobras.
Yeah, I'll take care of the cobras.
Curse of the cobra. Wow, what an example. अरे फोन कहाँ लेके जा रहे हो? इतना बैटरी शायद नहीं रहेगा. ठीक है शायद.
No, guys, we did not play Holi today, so there was nothing that we did. We were just working.
Yes. सागर वो ये कौन सा है नंबर
5.
ये इसका है क्या? दिव्या?
नहीं, दिव्या का 6 और सूर्या का 7. ऊपर ही है 5 6. 1 2 3 4 5 इधर ही 6 और उसके ऊपर. ठीक है 6.
5 है
उसके ऊपर ही 6 और 7.
Got it. Gukesh's time is dangerously low. I completely agree with you. सागर भाई दादाजी गैम्बिट सिखा दीजिए. ये कौन सा गैम्बिट है? Okay, let's look at, first of all, this is 21st move. Only 8 minutes for Gukesh. He has to make 19 moves. Arvind has 48 minutes on the clock. He was the one who was well prepared in the opening and got a novelty also on the board, which means there has been some kind of pressure which has been carried forward on Gukesh. And right now he needs to keep playing precise chess. Otherwise the dynamics are favoring black. That means that this whole imbalance of material which is there on the board is favoring black. So first of all, guys, let me ask you a question. As white, if you have two choices between bishop e3 or bishop g5, which one you will play in the game? What's your inclination? Bishop e3 or g5? Bishop g5 says Anshuman Das. Arey, Anshuman Das. क्या बात है? Bishop e3, bishop g5, bishop e3, bishop e3, bishop g5. It's quite a mixed opinion we have over here. Almost 50-50, I would say, in general. But still maybe a bit more tending towards bishop g5. And here we were looking at this move king e6. Also stops bishop f6 ideas. So what do you think? Like if you give a check and the king goes to d6, is okay with another movement of the king, because your rook has gone away from pressurizing the d pawn. Even if you look at such a position, rook c1 attacking this, I'm just trying to look at some best variation by the engine. It's not very much helping white because the rooks are not able to penetrate the right weak points in general. So Gukesh goes b3, the move which, I guess Ryan had asked. Wonderful, first of all, but he decides to not touch the bishop on c1, and maybe if c3 is not played, then of course it has other options also. For Arvind, guys, let's go full screen and see, is Arvind going to play c3 or not? And that's important. Oh yes, he plays it. It was the only move, and he plays it so quickly that Gukesh is down to 6 minutes. Oh my god. Bishop e3, quickly played, attacking the d4. d4 pawn. You have only moved to defend it with knight f5. So I'm sure Arvind is going to make his move again quickly. Has Gukesh prepared for the move knight f5? Oh yes, happy Holi everyone. Holi was very confusing. Somebody wished Holi yesterday. Somebody said it's over yesterday. Somebody saying it's today. Somebody saying tomorrow. So it's a bit confusing. Don't know when Holi is, but in general, yeah, I'm a bit more low key kind of a person when it comes to festival. ओके सो बिशप e3 को करेगा क्या? नाइट f5 तो खेलना फोर्स्ड ही है. We did look at this variation attacking the c3 pawn over here, and this is where we are reaching, guys. A very complex, imbalanced endgame, I would say, which favors Arvind for two reasons. First of all, the position, but second of all, also the time. and that makes it much harder for Gukesh to keep finding accurate moves. In fact, if White is able to hold this game, it's going to be a good one. Yeah, he goes knight f5. Not sure why he's thinking. He was thinking a lot. Look at Arvind over there. He looks very confident. Just stare at his body language. He's getting up again and again. And Gukesh, one thing right now, he understands importantly to not use more time. Daksh says, I'm 500 LO. My biggest problem is I often don't understand what the opponent's plan is. I just keep going after my plan. Yes, as they say, the more you start, also focusing on what's your opponent's threat after every move they make, that's the question you have to ask. In fact, for any kind of rating, this is an important question. What's my opponent's threat? Then you try to see, because many of your best moves will be stopping opponent's ideas. So with this one simple thing, I think already you can make quite a lot of improvement. It will require a lot of awareness and observation though. Gaurav says it used to be one single day for like 4 or 5 years ago for almost all festivals, but I don't know what's gone wrong with the calendar. That every festival is having 2 days. Yeah, not sure. Maybe everyone's tired of working. Wow, the chat messages, number of messages have increased quite a lot. I think as the game is going towards the 40th move. This position promises to get messy if not handled accurately, says the perennial wanderer. Kya naam hai? Yeah, you are absolutely right. Actually speaking, here Rook C1 for Arvind, I believe this is the moment where he is going to take quite a lot of time. He has 45 minutes on the clock. So if you look at Gukesh though, yes, he knows he's under time pressure, but he's also feeling pretty comfortable when you look at him. He's not feeling stressed that he has only 7 minutes, that he needs to make 16 moves, and he feels it that pura calculation is ready. So let's say if you go king e6 and try to understand what Gukesh is thinking over here. Firstly, if I just say that I want to get rid of this stressful pawns, and if I want to think of sacrificing this bishop takes d4, knight d4, rook takes c3, that's already a blunder. Black to play quickly, guys. Let me know. Fatafat bol do. Why is this a blunder? Oh, Renuka Chincholi says, Amruta ma'am, I have completed Karo Khan course. Please upload another opening. Crazy Renuka, but then if you have completed the course of Karo Khan, are you playing it? Are you practicing it? Some blitz games or some few games? How has been your experience? Because now is the time you will develop your understanding and intuition through practical play. No, I don't know how to play Go. My rating is 1631. How can I improve? 1631. It's a rating where you have to try and improve your piece understanding, piece activity, planning, maneuvering, understand when knights are better, when bishops are better. I think minor pieces would really help if you try to see some games and observe more the plans. There are many key moments you'll start finding how they are planning the top players as such. And when you're playing games, try to not play back to back, but take some time to analyze it and find the pattern. I'm sure everyone has a pattern and it's different from each other, so it does help a lot. Aggressive chess opening from black. Very simple question. Sicilian. Bhai, Sicilian. So this position, if you reach, yes, knight e2 check is winning the rook, and that's why it's not helping. But the key thing is first give a check here, let the king go, and then rook takes c3. Let's say if we reach such a position where white is saying that for the rook and the pawn, you have two knights. Still, what black is saying that I'm still better, in such a scenario because my king is doing so well, because my knight is centrally placed. So king e6. Question is Gukesh going to take the pawn on d4, or will he say, if there is no need for me right now to give up this bishop. I want to try and win. And then he waits. And then what is the move which he will look at? Oh, look at this. It's happening. The whole variation which we thought of, that's the cobra. You don't want the cobra there. You just want to scare him, guys. Like, I'm just looking if I move, what happens if I move the bishop simply, doing nothing. Then there's b5 and b4 and king d5, and very slow and steady black is going to be improving his position. Amazing. So I guess practically a very good decision by Gukesh, especially under time pressure, to let those pawns exist and the knights exist. In fact, knights are very tricky, especially when you are under time pressure. So I would say I am supporting this decision of Gukesh, but Arvind is also going to be happy because somewhere it does simplify a lot of things here. Yeah. Was there an option of g4 instead of this bishop sack? No, g4 is just going to help black, I guess, but not for anything like knight takes e3. You don't want to take out this bishop here because white is going to say thank you. So not this one, but the knight can jump to h4, and you don't have, bishop d4 because of knight f3 check takes something similar though. So he goes bishop d4 directly without weakening anything with g4. Good question that was, by the way. What is a good way to find upcoming FIDE tournaments? I used to learn and play as a kid. Says Senshi. I want to start again and get official rating. Wow, that's a good one. Yeah, you'll see a lot of, there's a AICF website, there's a calendar. There's also many chess calendars and many WhatsApp groups. If you play some tournaments, then you should find out, you should get added over there so that you then get to know more about your local tournaments. But for now, you can check out All India Chess Federation's calendar, also some tournaments on Chess with India calendar, so you could check it out. Grim says, missing your jokes. You turned into a serious person in Bangalore. That is true. Tracking was, in fact, for the last many days, like before Bangalore, we were at Thiruvannamalai. It's a lovely place, by the way. And I guess one of the things what I and Sagar did was to be very, very quiet. We were kind of having a lot of silence, a lot of Maun Vrat in a way, which was quite nice to be. We keep talking in general, so it was maybe that might have had some impact. Okay, Arvind, do you think he kind of did not expect this or something? And is he going to be happy with this or not? Because imagine you might start feeling ki, yeah, if you take here, check, let's just have a look at it a bit more closely. And such a position could feel drawish, material. Because rook and pawn for two knights is completely fine, yeah, quite equal for that matter. That too, black does not have any pawn, which is now even close to minutely even to that cobra which he had. So over here also the king is in the center, but in no way it gives a feeling that the king is weak. Another important thing, whenever you have rooks, critical is to look at the open files and the seventh rank, right? Which is very well controlled by this knight over here. Then this file is blocked, so you can't reach the seventh rank. This file is blocked. These two pawns are so there is no entry for the rooks yet here. So for black, with the beautiful knight and a king in this knight, it's a great harmony in the position. Computer likes it for black, but I would say that practically this should be holdable. Spiritual routines have a lot of impact, right down to the DNA structured appropriately. Good going. Yes, definitely. No, but I keep cracking jokes whenever I talk. But right now, I think I'm also commentating after a bit of time. So, just looking at the games very seriously. And Devjyoti Sarkar says my rating decreased from 2400 to 2200. How can I improve? Why don't I believe you? I don't know. Because I guess you would know what to do, but in general, do you know one question if that's happening, and have you found the pattern why it is happening? Ever consider permanently moving to Bangalore? Yes, Rakshit, right now. Since the last few days. Considering moving to Bangalore. Can we have a look at Divya's game while Arvind is thinking? Because he's down to 35 minutes. He's thought for 10 minutes already. And let me just go to the main screen here and go to Divya's game. Okay, here we have Ganguly's game, by the way, who is better slightly, practically, not through the engine though. And here we have Divya's game, who is slightly under, yeah, that was Ganguly. And here we have Divya's game. After bishop e3 was played, I think Thomas did kick the bishop away. The bishop had to go back. Another rook jumped into the open file. So with the rook and the queen, d4 and a3 has been under pressure. But Divya also managed to get the queen and the rook together, put pressure on the b7 guy here. And after bishop e3, black is thinking, because queen takes b7 is a threat. So let's say if rook takes a3 here, queen takes b7, rook takes a2. Simply if you just take all these pawns, then knight c6, and what Divya will say, okay, I'm very happy because I'm a pawn up after all these exchanges. So that doesn't make sense. So you cannot take on e3, which means that you need to somehow either defend a b7 pawn. But how? Because you can't move the b pawn. You don't have rook d7. And if you go a move like rook b8, guys, what's the move? White to play here. Fatafat. Dev Prasad, how to get free chess coaching? Have you seen all the playlists on our channel over here, which is Imbalance Theory, which is 100 episodes of improving your chess and learn from classics. Then we have chess endgame also. We have a playlist there. So I think with all those things, you're already going to be increasing quite a lot of level, I believe. Very seriously, if you do. And yes, guys, you've got the answer. Some of you have said bishop takes c6, but I'll do like knight c6 as the main move because you're also, it's a pin first of all, and the rook is attacked, and b7 will also fall. So yeah, so that's why here for black, actually he does find a good move and he goes knight d5. Smart guy, because now if you take on b7, takes, then the problem is you're gonna take, and if you take here, once again there is a pin here and you lose material. So tricky move by Thomas, very active with all these tactical ideas. So Divya with 12 minutes on the clock, 22 moves to be made. Thomas has 20 minutes and 22 moves to be made. Kind of complex position. And this bishop is attacked, and maybe you might have to take here on d5 or settle with, rook a3. So we'll come back here. They were slightly under pressure, but देखते क्या होता है. Let's get back to see if Arjun has made a move. No, Arvind has been thinking for quite a while. He's down to 31 minutes here. Time to go full screen. Thank you, ma'am. We'll check that out. Yes, I will message once I complete everything. That will be after a few months. But you never know, if you are every day focusing only on chess, you might complete it sooner also. But whatever you're studying and trying to learn, it's important that you don't try to simply rush into something. Many times, many people do it like one book, oh, I have to finish it. So the quality of looking at it in a deeper sense sometimes goes down. But rather than that, that's not very important. What is important is to get a deeper understanding of whatever you are looking at, even if it could be like one or two games, but you feel like you can keep the moral of that game for a long time. It goes into your intuition in a way. That could help. Okay, some interesting conversations also go on in the chat. It's pretty what to say, interesting that many of you keep meeting in the chat actually during the commentary, and you can interact. I mean, I don't know if how many of you actually get in touch also through any other means, but mazedar. Who is more likely to win the candidates, Divya or Parag? Oof, रक्षित भाई, आप ऐसे सवाल ही क्यों कर रहे हो? As of now, I think it's already a very 25 days apart, but with the current situation happening in the world, I don't even know what's going to happen in the next few days. So very hard to think, honestly. But yeah, I would definitely say that one of the dream would be Prague and Vaishali winning the candidates. It would be an amazing and inspirational story for all the siblings especially. Hello from Nepal, says Manasvi. क्या बात है? Samarth Rao, अरे Samarth, I am coming to Superheroes Cup, of course. Very excited to meet you. So cool. Pune, my city. So I was born there. I did visit Pune for 2 days before we went to Tiruvannamalai. So it was very cool. Okay, Arvind is burning all his time now. Oh, make the move. Knight takes d4, knight f d4, and very quickly rook takes c3 is on the board. Check, sorry, wait, let me show this very important move, because if you play rook c3 directly, there was knight e2. So rook check, king यहाँ पे गया, rook ने मारा, and Arvind now, will he play fast? 20 minutes difference, you know, it has gone from 48 to 28. a5. Wow, look at this move, a5. He feels, it does seem confident about the position, and h4 played by Gukesh. According to the engines, f3 was a good move, but I would say that these are very subtle differences over here. So h4 played, back rank को पहले तो निकाल दिया, king दूर से कहीं आने वाला है. The knight on f3, you make sure that the g pawn holds there. So also I feel h4 has this potential of rook h3 and h5 somewhere trying to create a weakness. But why is black better is because, you know, these pawns over here, along with the knight putting pressure on the base of the pawn chain. Generally, the base of the pawn chain is weak, which means that if the pawn is pushed by any chance, then new base is created, which is b3, and eventually black is saying that I will win one of your pawn over here on the queen side and create a passer, and with the harmony of my pieces, one passer is going to mean a lot, because one rook versus two knights is equal to black is having actually two forces against one force. So that's what Arvind is basically trying to say. And yes, practically Gukesh has to be very, very precise to defend this until the move 40. Yeah. So h4 has been played. I thought bringing the king in the center. Yeah, I believe what maybe he did not like this move because first of all, it could restrict the rook over here. That is the feeling over here. Another is the king coming towards the center, but that also means that it's kind of closer to the knights, you know, these checks and so on. So, yeah, h4, more practical move. When I think the same moves as grandmasters, I feel very well. Then I go back to mortal self, says Seagull. But all those guys today, how did you celebrate Holi? Do you do that? And how is it? Like, did you have a holiday or your work was on? कैसा था? कैसी थी जिंदगी आज की? ये देखो अभी होली इज टुमारो हैप्पी होली आई फ्रॉम कैलिफोर्निया बे एरिया says Medasani अरे so cool Bay Area but Bay Area is also in San Francisco no okay they may have I couldn't celebrate. My granddaughters have their board exams. But then you can celebrate, no? Okay, very sweet. Also, F3 allows the king to attack the knight and maybe exchange two knights for a rook somewhere. Yeah, of course, if the rook versus two knights will be exchanged, then I think white is super happy. But it doesn't feel like it will happen. It was my mom's 90th birthday by Tithi, so I got her Puran Poli. Arey, nice. Definitely Puran Poli. I miss it. In my childhood, yeah, I used to play Rang Panchami whenever I would be here. It was nice. Oh, San Francisco, California में हाँ मेरे को पहले वही लगा. Then I thought, okay, maybe San Francisco, California. Got it. How stupid I am. So Bay Area, absolutely, we had gone to Stanford, which is in Bay Area, and it was amazing. We had a simul there, meet up there. I don't know if you were there, but open section. I guess maybe video will not have, but I'll definitely try to look at it after a bit.
क्या लग रहा है गेम में?
H4, Arvind is thinking.
Oh, where's the bishop gone?
He did a very good practical decision, by the way. A4. Oh, it's fizzling out. So I think what Gukesh did over here was to give it up.
Oh, that's a smart for 2 pawns. He gave it up, yeah?
Yep. And what was played was A4. And look at Gukesh. He is immediately ready with his move. As I was mentioning, he doesn't look stressed for his game over here. He looks pretty confident. And what he played was next move, Rook D1, pinning the knight over here. Oh, is he threatening Rook C6, King C6, and Rook takes D4, where he will be a pawn up? Oh, ये तो हो ही सकता है. But what if black wants to avoid that? First of all, if I take here, A takes B3. Should I take A takes B3 or Rook takes B3, guys? Which move do you like? Gukesh at 8 minutes, Arvind down to 25 from 40 plus, from 48 actually. Arvind might feel psychological pressure soon. Hello Anu, welcome. Yeah, Leon is streaming nowadays, which is amazing. He already has that streamer material in him. He's so good. I think it's a great idea what he's trying. Yeah, let's try to find another game also. But Divya's game, we'll look at all the games. For now, guys, Rook takes B3 I'm waiting here because I think they are playing quick moves. This was a smart decision by Gukesh not to take with the pawn, in fact. And how many of you had guessed Rook B3? Yes, Raj, Subra, Ryan, Adarsh. Well done. A takes B3 क्यों मारोगे ना? Basically, when you are weakening your own pawn, whereas on Rook B3, you are basically saying that you have a pawn on B6, my A2 becomes much more difficult to be attacked by the knights. And if I go Rook B8, which he played, then I can play A4. And eventually I'm going to try to exchange A pawn for the B pawn in some way. And that should be a draw, I believe. Oh, also Nihal came in a stream. Can we expect collab anytime? Would be super cool. Yes, let's look at I think let's wait for Gukesh's move because he's about to make a move. That's what I can see. And then Arvind might get some time over here. But there's also h5 where Gukesh can say that, okay, let me start creating another weakness. So here also you have a weakness. Then here also I'm keeping an eye. My rook should never go to g3 and allow a check like this. These are the only things to take care of, but not immediately. The king is going to move to c5, c4. You just want to get out of the pin and not restrict your knight at all. Yeah, a4 is nice. What about a3? I don't think a3 makes that sense, you know, when a4 is there on the board. But okay, should be also decent enough. The only thing, until you remember that if the king moves, that your rook is hanging now. बस उतना नहीं भूलना है. Cookies Reza says, Amrita, can we get Leon to 600 subscribers today, please? Arey, that would be awesome. How many subscribers does he have? And can you put the link of Leon's YouTube chat? Can someone become a professional chess player if they start late in life? Like how late? Like at 55, at 25? Even at 55, you can play in amateur national, amateur world championship. So yeah, everything is possible. Preparing for my entrance exams for BDS. What is it? I don't know that degree. Dental. B. Dot. Okay, we'll quickly have a look at firstly Divya's game here and also the open section. Here we have the full video of Divya. Quite a few people in the crowd, you can see. Knight d3 she played, in fact, in this position after knight d5. And Thomas is coming down on time. Yeah, he's reached 12 minutes. Divya is down to 4 minutes and has to make 21 moves. My God, that's huge. Whereas Thomas has less time but still more than his opponent. So though he has to make 21 moves, somehow he is in more active position. Should be easier for him to play. But this knight d3 move I like because you know you have to constantly worry about ideas with knight c5 there. Also, knight takes c3, f takes c3 damages the structure quite a lot, but also helps the pawn capture to the center, defending that quite irritating d4 problem. And now if you lose this, you are winning this pawn and return. Should be good. So knight d3 a good practical try because it seems that black actually needs to defend b7 first and secure this pawn and then start with his ideas of rook a3 and so on. So knight d3, Thomas thinking. While he's thinking, Ganguly over here trying to activate his pieces. Much could get the slight edge, but this could also end in a draw. And I don't know how to, wait a second, do we have the open section? Yes, we do have the open section. We do have, no, we don't have the open section, I guess. Yeah, Sasikiran, we do have it. Sasikiran is playing and with the black pieces is clearly having an advantage against Alua Nurman. He's down to 5 minutes, 25 moves have been played, 15 moves to be made in 5 minutes for Sasikiran. But if you look at his position and these pawns look beautiful, the king on b1 looks pretty weak, though the bishop on d5 is doing fine. You can look at such a deadly, plan for black with the queen and the knight reaching to a4. with these two squares being hell weak. I mean, so Sasi is doing super fine, amazing, in fact. All right, that was a good look at the open section as well. Let's go back to Divya's game. कुछ भी नहीं हो रहा है. थॉमस को काफी टाइम लगेगा सोचने के लिए. पोजीशन काफी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है. इधर क्या हो रहा है? Guys will keep shifting between Divya and Gukesh and Arvwind. Gukesh has played h5, the movie which we were looking at. हिमांग भाई कैसे हो? मस्त मस्त. क्या चल रहा है? व्हाट्सअप? See you soon in Pune, hopefully. Oh, lovely. Super excited. Guys, how is we have around these many people in the chat? How are you currently feeling about chess? Yeah, what's happening in the chess world? So many tournaments, or maybe less tournaments. I don't know how you are perceiving right now, but would be nice to hear from all of you. कैसे चल रहा है? How many moves are done? Asks Zuki. 31 moves are done. 9 more moves are to be played. Arvind has gone b5. A nice move there, because it's just a matter of black winning the a pawn, and then the passer with the knights is pretty powerful. But what Gukesh is doing is nice. Trying to exchange, trying to create more open files. He'll take the g6 pawn, but I hope that it doesn't take too long for this move at g6. He's down to 4 minutes. Omkar Karande has super chatted. I am 1465 FIDE and 1923 online. Can I have future? A lot of things. It could be dependent, Omkar. I don't know how old you are, but one of the thing in chess definitely is that as a coach, it's becoming so much stable that there's the good earning possibilities if you've played chess for a long time and you've reached 1900 and 2000, even less for that matter. You can always teach youngsters until a certain level, and you can be very good at it. In fact, so many strong players, it's difficult for them to teach the absolute initial levels. So that's one thing. But also, as a chess player, you can keep growing. You have around 1500 FIDE rated, like trying to play all the local tournaments which are near your place. I think those tournaments like Blitz and Rapid, the Sunday Blitz, Sunday Rapids, they really help, because King c4 has been played, and what Arvind is saying is like, I don't care about this pawn. Look at this. If Rook takes, by the way, this is a threat now, knight e2 check. And if you take on g6, what Arvind is saying, this is my only try to go after the a2 pawn. And he is saying that, okay, I'm okay with a race. If you have passers over here, I believe in this passer with my pieces. So guys, कुछ भी हो सकता है ये गेम में. Maybe both the players are like, भाई खेलना ही है लास्ट दम तक, तो कुछ भी हो सकता है. So yeah, you are around 1500. So these kind of tournaments really help to feel that pressure. In one day you're playing like 8 rounds, 9 rounds back to back. It's a test of stamina. It's a test of actually losing and recovering, and it's also it also helps to fight against that real pressure which you don't feel when you're working at home, or you're working on chess otherwise. So it's high intense pressure, and that will definitely help you. Your future really depends on what you're looking at. Like if you're looking at a very stable job with a lot of money to earn, maybe I don't know that way. like apart from chess coaching, to earn as a professional player for this rating may not be very realistic. But again, if you're a 5-year-old, maybe yes. If you're a 25-year-old, maybe no. But if you're 55-year-old and anyway retired and have a lot of savings, or even otherwise just want to do what you now can travel and stuff like that, then also very nice. I think it's a great sport for people who love chess and have retired. They can and who wanted to travel, but maybe sometimes their job didn't let them travel. So it's a great time to travel and just enjoy. Yeah. So yeah, we have king c4 played. Now Gukesh down to 2 minutes. Hello, 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 bhai. 2 minutes. You have to make like 7 moves. And it's a decision in a way, because you very well know that if I go for this pawn, I'm basically saying that I'm giving up this pawn and basically entering a race. Now the main question would be कि ये race 40 moves के पहले खत्म होगा या 40 moves के बाद, because I don't want to land up in a situation where on 39th and 40th move I make a mistake because of less time, and then it's all done. So this is why it's, you've not been playing the best, and somewhere such decisions do not just happen very quickly, very naturally, though you feel it, but to make that hand move, yeah, it could take a time. What else? What else if it doesn't take, then क्या खेलेगा? Rook c1 check. King b4. Now you don't have rook b3 check, rook b1 check. Oh, is there a draw? Wait a second. Rook c1, king b4. Rook b1. ये खेला तो I'll again give a check. So king a4, because you don't have king a3 now. I don't have any more check. And now if I take g6, this would be so attractive, but it's actually a mistake, because then the king is very happy that that's the piece which is going to take the pawn and the knight stay together. Oh, he's gone rook c1 check. Array, the moves which we were looking at, because it could very well attract white to push the king at the edge of the board. But it's getting critical, guys. It's getting critical. Rook g4 instead. कहाँ पे? यहाँ पे. You wanted to pin the knight, but there is no threat. Black is just going to progress. Even this one pawn push is a very good time. 34 seconds for Gukesh. Arvwind is at 21 minutes. Gukesh, very likely that if he is inaccurate, then he lands up under very big pressure. He feels the pressure now. I see the body language over here for the players. Arvwind is just trying to look at being so alert. एक chance पे he will dance. By the way, speaking about that, Arvwind is a good dancer. I don't know if you guys have checked out his Insta, but yeah, king a4. I hope Gukesh does not take the pawn over here. But if he doesn't, then what's the move he's looking at? Really not sure. Yeah, these are the situations. 12 seconds, 10, 9, the countdown is here. And when you have very less time, likely that he's going to take the pawn. What did he play? No, he did not. Very smart. Very smart of Bookie over here. Rook b2, a very calm and quiet move. He says that my rook is doing a great job. I'm just going to protect the a2 pawn. Right now you cannot attack the a2 pawn, at least with your rook. If your knight now comes to b4, by the way, can I go rook g4? I can go rook g4, it's possible. But now if I take rook takes g6, and if you go king a3, then I have a tempo to attack the knight. And Still, it's complex, but it looks fine for white here. So rook b2 played, and the question is, can I go b4 from black? Ignore rook takes g6. The only problem is I'm not able to attack this a2 pawn so easily. And this time I would have really loved if the king was on c4. Somehow I'm not liking it on a4. So yeah, rook b2. Nice move. Nice move found by Gukesh in his last 5 seconds. How many moves more? This is move number 36, guys. And Gukesh will have to make another 3 moves. Arvwind needs to make 4 moves to reach the final 40 moves. 20 minutes Arvwind is having, which is a huge time for him to figure out what to do over here. Technically, the position should be fine, but obviously, with all the time pressure and the imbalances, it is not at all as of now anything connected with a draw, I would say. Insta being deactivated by Arvindh, unfortunately, it used to be king of 64 squares. Amazing content on that page, honestly. Oh, that's what Imam says. Yes, it was a good one. Omkar says I'm 19 and playing chess from last 1.5 years by watching some and you guys. That's very nice, Omkar. Yeah, just keep playing chess. If you're whatever else you're doing also on the side and you keep playing and improving. I think one of the things definitely for all the youngsters, not just youngsters, but in general, is to be very well aware of how you are using your time when you are on Instagram and social media, because Instagram is quite dangerous if you are using it. And let's say many times when people say that I want to use it for 5 minutes, but it's just 1 or 2 hours. If you say I want to use for 1 hour and you're using it for 1 hour, it's still different. But if you want to use for 2 minutes and then you're using it a lot more, then it's quite dangerous. So I guess a little bit unfortunate for the all youngsters, because if they're not able to keep control there, because it is made, it just pulls you towards that valley. So just be aware, because you can really do a lot of things, improve a lot of skills. Even if nothing, just be calm and quiet. So I think that's important. So use it wisely. It's not like not using it or anything like that, but it just using it wisely is quite important. That way. Does white repeat or black? No, I don't think right now you're having any repetition closer at all. Yes, we're gonna lot of interesting comments. We'll talk about it. We have 1,000 people watching this. We are in the final moments. The last 3 and 4 moves are remaining to reach the 40th move, and there is a huge pressure, especially on Gukesh with 35 seconds on his clock. He cannot, let even a fraction of second here and there, a lapse of concentration will land him in big trouble. This rook was important. Knight e2 check has to be covered. There are moments when suddenly you can forget about something like this and make a blunder. So Gukesh, if you look at him, he is quite intensely focused, quite careful over here with what he's doing. And I think his last move, rook b2, was really a good one. Even when the computer in the middle game said that he is much more in trouble, it didn't seem as much. His body language was quite relaxed. So maybe he kind of had the sense of the position much more. for Arvind. Can he find ways to put pressure? Let's try to see how I can reach the A2 pawn to attack. Yeah, further. Any suggestions here? Or why can't I simply save the G6 pawn? Why should I give this up? Because now I have no check on the king. Now I want to bring my knight closer to the A pawn, like maybe knight b4, or maybe I'll even go knight e5, knight c4, kick the rook away, and find a different way to attack the A2 pawn. So, rook g8 I find quite interesting. Someone had suggested rook g4 ideas though, where you are pinning it. The only thing is you are leaving the third rank, so king will enter. So, देखते हैं. And what's happening to Divya very quickly, because that game was also in time pressure, and lots of things has happened. Wow, Divya is doing well. Oops, कहाँ पे गया? Last we left at knight d3, rook a3 was played by her opponent. She gave up the light square bishop, took the b pawn. यहाँ पे c5 disco आया on the rook. She takes the e7 pawn, gives up the d pawn, and a nice move, knight b4 over there with the pin on. This will be hanging. So Thomas is thinking with 2 minutes. Oops, sorry. With 2 minutes on the clock. My God, imagine guys, they are just 24th. 16 moves to be made for Divya with 44 seconds and Thomas with 2 minutes. How are they going to make that? It's too much. Of course, there's an increment, so that way you can like make as many moves as possible. Oh, bishop c4 played by Thomas, and now maybe knight c6 going after this rook on d8 over here. Maybe will you not win this pawn? This is also hanging. Okay, this might actually enter into a. This will fizzle out and it could enter into a draw. Bishop c1 played by Divya, double bishop against bishop and knight. But this is an isolated pawn. Divya has a rook on 7th rank. Quite interesting, but it does seem that she is out of danger for now. We'll quickly move to Gukesh's game, and I think it's critical over there what's happening. We'll come back to Divya again. Rook b2 has been played and Arvind has been taking quite some time here. Wow, he's reached to 12 minutes, and if he burns out all the 12 minutes, should be fine for him though, because he doesn't look like in danger, at least to me. Thoughts on Jordan's rapid rise? He's better against Navarre also today. Yeah, we saw his game. I don't think it's a rapid rise though, Himank. I think Jordan was always there somehow. Something or the other would kind of stop him somewhere, but definitely, it's been many years of effort which is now showing up. So we were discussing about it, that everybody has a phase where it kind of they get their best of their life. So this is amazing that everyone is able to, like Prague for Jordan, this will motivate him, and who knows, maybe next candidates it's him. Knight e5, yeah, that's a great plan. Somebody also had suggested knight e5, knight c4. Knight has a beautiful outpost there, though it won't even matter. F4. Oh, we did not expect this move at all, but this was protected, so that's why F4. And Arvwind very quickly will play knight c4. And is Gukesh going to take the pawn? No, sorry. b2 is hanging. He'll first have to figure out where the rook can move, because c2 will be controlled, d2 will be controlled, e2 is controlled. Bapre. So knight c4 ko he will have to go rook f2, because knight e2 check cannot be allowed. Which means, this is happening. Knight c4, rook f2 is forced. Gukesh makes that move, 37th move, 38th move. 1 minute 11 seconds on the clock. 2 moves to be made, but rook e8, a great move found by Arvwind, taking control of the open file and saying that if now you take the pawn on g6, it's a big mistake because of check, guys. And how many times we might have seen such a pattern of rook h8 mate. Oh no. And if you have to go a move like king f1, then comes in this check, and look at the king completely blasted. So rook e8 is going to, I guess, shake Gukesh in some way. Last 2 moves, he has to at least not make a big blunder where he cannot make a comeback. But Arvwind, incredible, playing really well for these last few seconds. Crazy, guys. Crazy. He goes king h2, but then knight e2 with the same idea of rook h8 check. I guess the move knight e2 is like, a threat. So there is very less possibility that Arvwind is not going to go for that move. Yeah, Gukesh doesn't have time to think. Knight e2 found there. 39th move played by Arvwind. He's having an advantage for Gukesh. The last move, 40th move, but he needs to be still way careful. The rook h3 looks natural to me, but look at this. Yeah, it's a complete blunder or maybe a big mistake, and it's not very obvious why it is a big mistake. It's because of this move, guys. Knight e3 with the idea of knight g4 check. And if you play rook e2, still beautiful knight g4, because there is a disco here. Oh, he finds it. No, rook gf3, big blunder, 40th move, typical situation of any chess player on move number 39th or 40th. Gukesh actually needed to go rook d3. Still, it's slightly worse, but you are surviving here definitely much more. And now if knight e3 would have been played, the difference was when you take here, if check is given, in this scenario, rook takes a2 and there is rook d6. So this was the difference. I'm very curious to see what Gukesh played after rook f3. How does it change? Like knight e3 is the move for Arvwind. He needs to find. It's still 40th move. He has 11 minutes. Now if I take over here, if knight f1, the same thing, it will be fine. But this is the problem. Yeah, you win the g2 pawn and then the a2 pawn, and then say that this is just too fast. Okay. Still he has to find it. Knight e3 move. If he doesn't find knight e3, if he plays a move like b4 or something, yes, black is better, but I would say it won't be kind of over. Yeah, it is definitely easy for me with the engine, but for Arvwind, if he had in the same situation, 30 seconds, a move like knight e3 might not have been so easy because there's a lot of calculation, long ones, and you don't have that much time. But with 10 minutes for Arvind, he definitely has all the time in the world to find the best move. Yeah, it's finally the time pressure did impact. Yeah. Yeah, 40th move, yeah, rook d3. फिर भी I would say that this was a bit tough, when f4 was played over here, I think it did create a lot of chaos which we could not imagine at this moment. Just look at this position versus what we reached right now after 39 move. The knights and the rooks feel like a very calm kind of, this autumn kind of a feeling. And now after f4, the knight c4, when you couldn't go here, goes to f2, the rook goes to e8, beautiful move. Suddenly knight e2 check is incoming. Suddenly mating ideas are there with rook h8, and it's just completely gave a feeling of a storm happening over here. So that much change. Oh, but wait a second. 40th move, 8 minutes for Arvind, guys. Should we stick here? Because a very quick look at Divya's game. And Divya is doing fine. 17 seconds. Let's just have this camera on the board so when Arvind makes a move, we'll get to know. But in Divya's game, we have 33rd move, 40 seconds for Divya, 1 minute for Thomas, and it's the opposite colored bishop, and Divya is a pawn up. But e2 is hanging here. If you try to save it with king f2, I think it looks dangerous with d3. So yeah, so she goes king f1. Though h2 is unprotected, I'll still consider a move like d3. It's equal. Divya's game, I believe, is ending towards a draw. And in the meantime, Ganguly, yeah, this should also go towards a draw. With check, check, rook endgame happening. So yeah, let's stay here. Rook gf3, critical movement for Arvind. 7 minutes. Is he going to find the best move, knight e3? Or will he get tempted with something simpler, which is a move like b4, pushing the pawn, which is also not bad, and in fact for 40th move might even be a bit simpler, that he doesn't want to enter into all those calculations over here. So definitely a possible move, just not as much winning as knight e3. What about the software created by Vidit? Oof, Sagar would know the settings and all. I think we right now do not have our setup. I guess it's installed over there. But I think we'll be using it for the important tournament next time when we are over there. Even now, if at all we'll check if we can use it tomorrow. Like we will be doing the stream handling OBS, so we'll check with him. Yeah, good reminder. The problem is that the move rook f3 cannot go to the d6 and attack g6. Yes. Seagull says I have to go to buy groceries, but I don't want to leave this game. So mobile में है ना game side by side you can check. Yeah, what do you think, guys? Is Arvind going to find knight e3 move here? He has 5 minutes and I think he's about to play. So before he plays, maybe what's your guess? Divya drew. Oh, okay, that's a good one. That's a good one because he was in trouble in the middle game. she in fact was under a lot of pressure, so it's a good thing. Yeah, he's going to 100%. Oh, it's only yours. Obviously. No. Yes. Hmm. 93 is a good move. Yeah. 4 minutes for Arvind. 40th move. I need my Hati Chiti jokes. Yes, how many of you are following Clips channel who are over here? If not, do subscribe it. You're gonna have also give us ideas what we should do over there. What would you like to see there? Are you retired from professional chess? Says ओमकार करंडे. हाँ भाई, बहुत पहले. प्रोफेशनल चेस तो पता नहीं क्या रहता है. Never earned enough as a chess player from playing chess, I would say. But yeah, retired. ऐसे कभी बोला नहीं अभी, बोला नहीं था, because it doesn't really matter. He's calculating. Oh, he finds it. Arvind, OP man. Amazing. He took all his time, because maybe all the while he was looking at this move very, very closely, because you are having a lot of pieces hanging in there. Look at these 4 squares over there, fully crowded. Clearly, if we have to consider here for Gukesh, unfortunate part is the absolute blunder happened on 40th move, and the last weak moves happened in the time pressure. But the very first thing, अगर ये मारा rook takes c2 सबसे पहले, तो ये check आ रहा है, and this variation which we saw over here, check आ रहा है, king goes back and rook takes a2. Let's say we reach such an endgame position, and I, as white, still try to say that do I have time to with this pawn. Unfortunately, what is the best move here for black to play? If 1300 people, I believe 100 people should attempt it. Yes, this position is beautiful with 2 rooks and 2 knights when knight e3 was played. I think it was a great moment. Agad Matter found his thumbnail. क्या था भाई thumbnail? मैंने मिस किया क्या कुछ? Wow, amazing. ABCD, Anshul Saxena. The only heir is Wund reserved. Buki Reza. Too good. Rook A3. So many of you have found it 2 at 11:30 almost. And you go into the winning king pawn endgame. So I'm not able to recover the pawn anyway over here. A move like f5, let's say, will be a bit too slow, because after takes b4, like your king is way too far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 files apart, and this pawn is just rolling. So first variation clearly rejected, which was knight e3 check ke baad taking this knight. Now, if you don't take this knight, then already you are threatening a check here, winning the rook. So karoge kya? Because if you give this, then black is a piece up. Yes, so you can't go for sure. Is it like completely over now? Oh my goodness. Array, that would be crazy because it felt like if this is not working and if this is not working, then there is nothing, yeah, because you can't move your king. King h1 doesn't make any sense anyway. Knight g4 anyway. And once you move this, there is still rook h8 check. Oh my goodness. What's the move here, guys? Black to play, the final move. The best move here. These are the kind of positions where there are 2-3 moves, but yeah, any of them should be good enough. Yeah, this is definitely going to be a bit hard on him. Very cool, very cool. Knight g3 check is the move, and once again we've seen here the whole thing. Finally, Arvwind showed how powerful his knights were becoming again and again and again. These knights, like that was the whole point. I think all those who joined late, this was the moment where Arvwind went for a very, very important choice of giving an exchange. I think this was a moment where Gukesh also missed because he was getting knight c4 and quite a good position there. But here, Arvwind, bishop d4, giving an exchange in such a way was a great calculation, great understanding showed by him. I also like this move, bishop d4 by Gukesh, going for a practically drawish thing, but the way Arvwind just very quickly got a5 and then a4 and created this isolated pawn for white. Still things were looking great. Yahan se I think your rook is constantly under this check, though it's not happening. A sar pe ek tension hai, right? Like all those who you feel like exam is coming, it's like always there. Exam aa raha hai, ek saal se exam aa hi raha hai. तो वैसे चल रहा है. फिर यहाँ पे तो इवन for me I cannot imagine that the king going to a4 is going to be better for black. I would obviously do that, but maybe rook g3 king c4, maybe rook g6 was a better try. But this is only in hindsight after we looked at what happened and after we looked at the power of this knights. Rook takes g6 could have been a better way to continue. This is how things landed. The knight went to e5 and this was a 37th move. This mistake happened and yeah, he played rook e2, knight g4 check, king g3, rook takes c2 by Gukesh, by Arvwind, and king takes g4. We are entering this rook endgame. Maybe the best chance is king h4 so that you don't, yeah, he goes king h4 so that at least after rook takes, oh guys, if rook takes a2 actually is a mistake. Oh my god, crazy. ये क्यों mistake है यार? Because rook g3 के बाद ये, now you don't have rook a3, that was the only thing. But isn't b4 happening quickly or not really? b pawn तो आगे बढ़ता जा रहा है, बिट्टू इधर आ रहा है, तो प्रॉब्लम क्या है? प्रॉब्लम is even if you get b2, आगे क्या? आगे then it's like flight का halt बहुत फटाफट हो गया. But look at Arvwind, super alert, not at all looking at a2. First puts his pawn to b4 and says that this is what I am gaining, the time in the sense not real time, वो वाला समय नहीं, पर वो जो रहता है ना समय, मतलब वो मोमेंटम वाला, वो फ्लो वाला समय. सो rook g3 is not possible anymore, because you take king pawn endgame is winning, which means he cannot attack the g6 pawn, but he cannot also defend the a2 pawn. तो बात तो खत्म हो गई ना, because once I win the a2 pawn with this being just 3 moves away from being a queen. Crazy. No, this is over, because maybe this was a final possibility that black would have gone wrong, but if it was so alert and played b4, that means that Arvind has got this in his pocket. Yes, Anu, but it's all a journey for everyone. Different, you can never know what life will bring it to you. Devansh Singh. Oh, hello, Devansh. Yeah, this is over for sure. Very sad, because I think one of the thing what chess players feel is, especially when they make a mistake in time pressure between that 37 to 40th move, kind of haunts them. अच्छा नहीं लगता है वो वाला. Uki Reza says, Amrita, do you remember Gukesh versus Wei in Olympiad? 2 horses against 200. Oh yeah, that was of course, I would say, what the best calculation, the best game. I would say for Gukesh, it was, yeah. Also, it helped the Indian team like insane. Yeah, that victory was so important. That was the key victory actually for us to win that Olympiad as well. Oh, 3 losses in a row. Oof, yeah, that too. Yesterday was a rest day. It's Arvind OP, Danda Nakka, says Himang. What am I missing here, Himang? What is Danda Nakka? Oh, Abhida is in the background. Oh yeah, we have Abhi over there. Ooh, nicely spotted. Chess Army. क्या बात है? Oh no, I didn't. 5th game. Okay, I'll see. Thank you. Because before saving time instead of rook a2, absolutely rook a2 would have allowed rook g2 winning the pawn, and you know, it's when it's a race, it's about this every single move, like not losing time. And that's what in the race, black is saying that I can already start the race, whereas you cannot. And that's what the thing. It's like you are on this marathon line or a relay line, whatever. And they say on a mark, get set, go, and one player can run, the other player cannot. So that's how it is. Yeah, Abhida is doing a wonderful job over there. He's a great, he took some amazing photos, and yeah, at least luckily this place is quite safe as of now. So they will have Akash. They'll also have a official commentary. You can check that out. We have the links. We have articles being written. Devansh is also writing. Himank is putting social media posts. So देखना crazy expression दिया, कुछ तो crazy expression दिए अभिदया भाई. Yeah, I think it's one of the hard things also for the people who are covering the event. You know, when you when you have to see like your two Indians playing against each other, which is a great thing, then one of them is losing, then it's always, yeah, it's a part of that journey as well. But sometimes, yeah, you don't want to be in that situation, but you have to be. Dandanaka is a Tamil song. I guess this song was added in the Insta for Arvwind after winning Chennai grandmasters. Got it. Cool. Arun Pandit says, hey Amrita, I'm a huge fan of chess in India. Is there any chance of a chess beginner course in Tamil in future? Actually, 100% because we are already working on beginners course on Chess Ranga. So I believe if once that is successfully done, very soon also we'll have AI which should be able to convert Sagar's sound in Tamil. I'm not sure, you know. So yeah, that should happen. But if not, then if it doesn't happen, then we'll maybe ask Soumya to make it in Tamil. Samar says, loved a day in my life that Abhideva did. Are we going to Cyprus? We would love to, but yeah, we're trying to work it out yet for the video rights and all. Let's see what happens. Okay, so looking at this position, guys, one more time after b4, if you just see, look at Gukesh. I think it's sinking in him that maybe this was the move which he may also have missed, because if not for this move, this position is actually drawn. And imagine you calculating this in at this moment when he allowed move knight e3. Maybe this was the reason. Like he said, okay, if knight e3 now, I take here, I go king g3, and here this endgame he already saw king h4, rook takes a2, rook g3, and this was a perfect calculation. In fact, what he did over here, where b3 and rook b6, and then this is a draw. This is what he did in 30 seconds. But in this whole line which he calculated, because he had less time, if he had a little bit more time than 30 seconds, maybe 2 minutes or 3 minutes, then in that long variation he would have tried to see something, some more branches. But with the less time, he could not. And that's where this was one branch which was not the first candidate move, because the first one is rook takes c2. He missed it. He missed this move, b4. And now what do you do? Like, what is your still the best try over here? Not sure, yeah. Just let's say wait, but how long do you wait? Today's game is bittersweet. Feeling sad for Guki, but also happy for Arvin, says Nodirbek. Yeah, nicely put it out there. Anything about chess guru? You can check it out. I think everything is there on the website. They're doing some amazing work. Chess Gurukul, Chola Chess. Yes, we do have help chess, which helps the young talents and people financially. There is a form over there which can be filled. It's goes through a process of selection, and if anyone falls in that category, then definitely they are shortlisted. Suggest endgame books. Endgame books तो बहुत सारे हैं. जबर. There is endgame play by Yakubboev. There is also recently, so there is this conceptual rook endgames by Sam Shanklin, Yakubboev. Even if you go to Chessbiz India's shop and just type endgame, you will find so many. In fact, there's also an endgame DVD by a whole set by Carsten Mueller, which is amazing. In fact, there's 100 endgames you must know, a very, very famous and very popular book. 100 endgames you must know, and its workbook also. Silman's endgame play. So, a lot of endgame books there. You can check it out. Yeah. So, Arvwind is also calculating over here, though I don't think Gukesh has played. Nah, he just played rook e3. Rook e3 played here. Again, for Arvwind, now he's already promoted this. It's improved. The king cannot go further. Rook a2 is the way to continue, and of course the most obvious way. There shouldn't be any reason for Arvwind to reject that, so he will take that and say that I'm winning. Avyuk says, how is Karo Khan played? I recently went Sagar chess session. It was so good. Oh yes, Chess Ranga, you liked it. The Karo Khan course. I'm so glad. Thank you. Yeah, Karo Khan is quite interesting once you understand the plans and all. Oh, he takes. Arvwind takes the pawn here, and very quickly Gukesh goes rook g3, attacking the g6 guy. And now, guys, what is the move? What are you going to play here? Very quickly try to intuitive move. Like, let's say you have 5 seconds on the clock. For tax से क्या खेलोगे? Hand move क्या करोगे? So black to play. What can you think of? Falcon से Sindarov wins title Tuesday. अरे क्या बात है? Attacks से खेलोगे. There is b3, rook f2, rook h2, b3. So all your moves are like b3, rook f2, and rook h2. And yes, b3, like pushing the pawn feels like one of the most natural moves to play for. But it's actually a mistake if you push the pawn. Because again, what happens is rook takes g6. You lose a pawn here. And once again, you don't have enough time, because if you go b2, then after rook b6, b1 is controlled. Rook a1, you don't have time. If you support the pawn on a3, then my pawn starts pushing with f5. Now if you go rook a1, threatening a queen, telling that your pawn is too behind. Actually, white is like, no, it's not too behind, honestly, because I land in the theoretical endgame, which is a drawn position because the king is way too far. The king had to be closer to give some checks and to be able to manage. So Arvind, very smart again, does not go b3 at all and goes rook f2, a nice move. Because some of you had mentioned a check which also looked a little attractive but allows white to go forward and attack this pawn. So rook f2, a good move by Arvind. In fact, a very nice move here. First, getting the rook out so that now when we go b3, b2, the rook is not stuck. That is the main benefit of that. Chandan Kumar says, I started to learn using the Karokan course, but I was busy for 2-3 days, I guess, and forgot everything. Arey, nahi, you can look at that. It's anyway a lifetime course you have. Guys, do check out on Chess Ranga Karokan course. You can buy it for 36 rupees. It's a good one. Sicilian, which is the best? Knight off or accelerated? I think depends on your style. Accelerated is not at all. I think it's very exciting, but knight off is more solid. You can like maybe check. Also, a player like MBL has played knight off for his whole life. Anish has also played knight off. You can pick a player and see all his games. That could be interesting. Sagar did talk about the tweet, I guess. So when he was here, as tomorrow we'll have Harshit Raja joining. We'll have later Soumya also day after tomorrow and Harshit. So it will be quite interesting. Okay, Rook G4 was my instinctive move, says only RZ. I defends the F4 pawn over here. Once again, B3 is not possible because of, you see a disco over here with F5. White is happy. I'm sure Arvind is not going to make that blunder. So for black, the next move which comes to my mind at least is King A3, so that I can now threaten B3, and it's actually quite a good move. Okay, then if I see King A3, then it's just done. Like, I don't want to see anything else, as black, because the whole idea is to promote this pawn. But you can also make a waiting move, Rook F1, and just ask him that, yeah, you can't move the rook. If you try to move the pawn, then you lose, which means you have to move the king. And if I go King G5, then coming too fast. Yep. Oh my god, we may be looking at a resignation very, very soon, guys. KG5 is not a draw. In the meantime, both the Nodirbeks who were playing against each other, their game has ended in a draw. David Navarra versus Van Foreest Jordan. has ended in a draw. Maghsoodloo versus David Anton Guijarro has ended in a draw. And Vincent versus Hans is still going on. Oh my god, what is this crazy position here? Oh my god, this is super crazy with the king on d3, and they just finished. It seems 40th move, rook e7 was played, 41st move, and it's white to play. Uh, so much is happening. Okay, this knight is hanging, but that's an extra knight. Even to process this position takes a bit of time because it's such a chaotic position in general, but cannot not defend my knight and say that I am going to be a piece up. No, it's trapped actually. And taking is anyway. Is there a mate? Guys, black to play. Can you find checkmate in one move? Knight h5 has not been played, but if at all, if it is played, what is mate in one? Yes, Vadana, Shabad, Sam, Bundle, Adarsh, Nimish, Parthi, Guki, Anu. Well done, guys. It's the way you find a checkmate is you see how many squares this king has. This is not there, 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 this is not there. So only these two, and the first thing you try to do is to see a check which can cover both the squares. And there you go, queen e4, luckily with the rook on e7, covers both the squares, and it's a mate. So already, if this knight moves, queen e4, mate is threatened. So for white, he cannot really save this. And yeah, Hans is gonna think 41 moves are just over, and he gets a lot of time here. Parham versus Antón Guijarro, it's going towards a draw. And Arvind has actually found out the move rook f1, a calm waiting move, and asked Gukesh the next question, what to do. Yeah, by the way, if you just take this pawn, then black takes the f pawn, and this is a winning position even if you go king g3. So Gukesh goes king g5 and attacks the g6 pawn, and Arvind may play king a3, much safer. Yeah, I'm not sounding low, but maybe I'm a bit working a lot on the fitness over here. Um, Thanks to our friends who are helping us a lot of sports. In fact, um, we're going to gym and some badminton, and yeah, it's interesting that way, taking care of some healthy food and stuff like that. So we're very lucky to our friends Shikhar and Charmi over here. And they're helping us how to have a better lifestyle in all the busy schedule. So that's what we're trying to also learn. Yeah, and there you go, the resignation by Gukesh. Oh my god, it's yes, definitely a difficult scene. He doesn't even want to It's hard for any chess player to be in such a situation. Incredible of Arvind, because the way he managed to beat Gukesh, to beat the world champion, is basically by finding some amazing ideas on the board, clearly putting pressure on your opponent, bringing him under time pressure, kind of pulling that, the time pressure mistake towards the 40th move, and then converting it. So, really, big hats off to Aravindh Chithambaram for this beautiful game he played. I believe it was all going pretty okay for Gukesh, but maybe this was one moment where he could have got the advantage and it was missed. But over here, after this, what an exchange sack. Yeah, it's a Petrosian like exchange sack which Arvind found on the board. And though later Gukesh did make a comeback, more than a comeback, he was finding some good practical defenses, but 40th move did not work out for him. And here we go. King a3 was played. Even if you take the pawn on g6, it's going to be too late because of you faster with the queen, and Gukesh had to resign there. So, yeah, that was the game for both of them today who were playing. For our other Indians, Ganguly's game ended in a draw, by the way. I'm just going to the main screen here. Yeah, Ganguly's game ended in a draw. Divya's game ended in a draw. Great result for Divya, by the way, to get out of the pressure. What about, yeah, Finnek versus Jidar game is still going on. And in the main section, Maghsoodloo and Antón Guijarro is they're playing. This is the position, queen and knight versus queen and knight. White is a pawn down but looks complex. And Vincent versus Hans. Ooh, that insane position which was there on the board. Wow, white really needs to be careful. But if you see over here, if black takes the piece, then white would have got out, won this pawn, later won this pawn, and then said, oh, my king on d3 is doing amazing, and the queens are exchanged. So black has to be careful, and queen f5 check has been given. And maybe the knight gets back. It's chaotic. It's pretty intense, guys. Though I feel that with both the players playing this very cool and accurately, this should end in a draw, but very unlikely that it's possible to be so accurate. He didn't rearrange. Yeah, it's true that it's a very, yeah, rare situation. Rare, no, maybe I don't even know such a situation before. Yeah, definitely not. It's completely fine. In fact, not doing that is also very fine. But yeah, that was it, guys. I think for today we will. You can follow these games later on the official channel, I guess. Katie is also commentating along with Alois. Then also follow on Leeches, and we will be seeing you tomorrow. Harshit will be joining, and for now, we'll be ending the stream, and you can look at the games at the other places. But yeah, thank you so much for joining in, and with all so many comments and so much positivity. So thanks, guys. Gukesh will definitely give a comeback for sure. Maybe this tournament, maybe not, but maybe in the future. But we completely will believe in him. All right. I'm not sure about the result. Oh, Vivek is here. He'll be there. Shubharatri. See you tomorrow. Happy Holi. Nice, Vivek. Cool. So, kal milte hai, guys. Take care. Sayonara.